Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of the Minecraft pixel art tutorial series for Grogu. If you become a channel member today, you will instantly gain access to the other pixel art tutorial parts for Grogu that the current channel members have access to. You'll also gain early access to the other pixel art tutorial parts that I'm currently working on. Don't forget, the best way to get into contact with me is through my Discord. I'll be leaving a link down below in the description. And if you're a channel member, you get the channel member role within my Discord once you link your YouTube account with your Discord account. Make sure to check out my other social media, Instagram, TikTok. All that info is also going to be down below in the description. And if you're on the Xbox or Windows 10 edition, my gamertag is Felix Guaman YT. Send me a message or a screenshot of the progress you're making with this pixel art tutorial series or another pixel art tutorial series that you're working on. So we're going to go ahead and continue outlining Grogu now, and we're going to start all the way down here, kind of where we left off. Or I should say, not left off, but began. Going back over here to the right, and we're going to find these three black concretes. So find these three black concretes going across. We're going to start from the left block of these three. So starting on top of it, so starting from there, we're going to be placing a linked 2 blocks going to the left. So that's 1 and 2. So it should look like that. Okay. Now once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and start on top of the left block of these two. So we're going to start from right there. And we're going to be placing 9 black concretes going diagonal up to the left. So that's 9. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placement blocks. Fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this, okay? Okay, so now that we have our 9, what we're going to do from here is place 2 blocks going up on the left. So that's 1, 2. And now you're going to be placing from here 1 block going up to the left. That's 1. And now from this 1 block, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2. Next, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placement blocks. So once we've done that, we're going to move back to this 1 block here. That's in between these two and these two here. So let's move back to this 1 black concrete. So from here, we're going to be placing 24 black concretes going diagonal up to the right. So from here, so 24 going diagonal up to the right. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's 24 blocks. Now, when it comes to these double-digit numbers, because we are going to be placing a few of them throughout the tutorial series, make sure to pause the video or just take your time. You don't want to miscount and place too many or not the correct amount, because then it could probably throw off the other tutorial parts that you're going to be working on. Okay, so just take your time. So now that we have our 24 blocks up here, let's go back up here. And from here, we're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going up on the right. So that's 1, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 2. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements. Now from here, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going up on the right. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements. And from here, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going up on the right. That's 1, 2. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left. And that's 1. And if this 1 block is making contact with this other black concrete up here that we put in the previous part, then you're doing everything correctly so far. Now, for whatever reason, if this one block isn't making contact, just go back and double check, recount some of the blocks here, and make sure everything is lining up perfectly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, so now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to these two that we placed going up on the right. We're going to switch over to a placement block, and we're going to start from the bottom block on the left side. We're going to be putting a placement block here on the left, so that's 1. So it looks like that. Next, we're going to switch over to the black concrete, starting on the left side of this placement. So from here, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So 2 diagonal up to the left, so that's 1 and 2. So it should look like this. Okay. Next, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to be placing 6 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements now. Okay. So now that we've done that, what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. So that's 1, 2. Next, you're going to be placing 4 blocks going at diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left. That's 1. And now from this block, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. That's 1, 2. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left. That's 1. And now from this 1 block, we're going to be placing 3 sets of 2s going across on the upper level to the left. 3 sets of 2s. So that's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 1, 2, 3. That's 3 sets of 2s. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements. And now that we're up here, and you can see that these 3 sets of 2 should be making contact with that 1 black concrete there. Now that we've made contact with this outline here, we're going to start from these 2 black concretes, starting from the left block. So from here, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal down to the left. So that's 1 and 2. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2. Next, you're going to be placing 1 block going down to the left. That's 1. And now we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2. Next, we're going to start underneath the right block of these 2. So starting from right here, underneath the right block of these 2 that we just placed, we're going to be adding 2 blocks going down. So that's 1 and 2. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 5 blocks going down on the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that we've done that, we're going to be placing 16 blocks going down on the left. Going down the left, 16. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That was 16 blocks going down on the left. Okay. Let's get back down here. And now from here, we're going to be placing 24 blocks going down on the right. Going down on the right, 24. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's 24 blocks that went down on the right. Let's go fly up. Gonna get rid of that placement. Set back down. And now from here, we're going to be placing 25 blocks going down on the right. 25 going down on the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And the 25 should be making contact with the ground, and for whatever reason, if it's not, just go ahead and pause the video, just recount the 16, the 24, and the 25, recount all of these, because these are the double-digit numbers, and we are still going to be placing a few of them, so it's definitely worth taking your time, pausing the video, and just double-checking that you've placed the correct amount. Okay, so now that we have our outline here, we're going to, let's go back down here. We're actually going to start filling in some of these areas, some color to Grogu, but we're going to do just a little bit more outlining here. So I want you to go to these two black concretes. I'll fly back a bit so you can see where we are. You see these two that are also making contact with these other three that are making contact with these 24. Okay, so we're going to these two. This is where we're going to start. We're going to start from the top block of these two blocks. So from here, we're going to be placing one block going up to the right. That's one. And now from this one block, we're going to be placing 6 blocks going up on the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. So that's 1, 2. And now place 1 block going up to the right. That's 1. Now from this 1 block, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going up on the right. That's 1, 2, 3. Next, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going up on the left. Going up on the left, 2. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to be placing 9 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's fly down, get rid of the placement. Head back up here. And from here, we're actually going to move back down here. Let's move back to the bottom block of the 9. So going to this block right here. We're going to switch over to the placement block. And starting on the left side of these 9, with the placement here, we're going to be adding 3 placements going up. So that's 1, 2, 3. Switch over to the black concrete. Place 1 block on top of these 3 placements. So that's 1. Let's get rid of these placements now. And now from this 1 block, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2, 3. Let's get rid of the placement. I'll fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this so far. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Alright, so let's move back down here. I want you to go back to these 2 blocks that we had here going across. We're going to start from the left block. So starting from here, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1 and 2. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put some green on Grogu. So we're going to work on his little hand over here to the right. And for this next part, we're just going to be needing the... Let's put aside this block for just a second. We're going to be needing the green concrete, the green wool, the lime terracotta, the lime concrete, the lime powder, and we're also going to be needing the sand block. So let's go ahead and have those in our inventory. And we're going to start off with the green concrete. So we're going to move to Grogu's hand right here, and I want you to find this area here. I want you to find these 3 black concretes that are making contact with this backwards L shape that we have here. You see that? So we're going to start on top of these 3 black concretes, and we're going to be adding just 2 green concretes going up. So that's 1, 2. Then you're going to be placing 1 block going up to the right. That's 1. And now that we've done that, we're going to switch over to the lime terracotta. Now, with the lime terracotta here, let's just go ahead and switch some of these blocks around. Okay, so now with the lime... No, not the concrete, whoops. Okay, here we go. Now with the lime terracotta, we're going to move to this 1 black concrete. So starting on the left side, we're just going to be adding 1 lime terracotta. So that's 1. And once you've done that, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going across on the upper level to the left with a lime terracotta. So that's 1, 2, 3. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going down on the left. That's 1, 2, 3. And now place 2 blocks going down on the right. That's 1, 2, going down on the right. So it should look like this. And once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and fill in this empty space right here, just this one space here, staying within the outline. Fill this in with the lime terracotta. Let's fill this in. Okay. And now that we've done that from here, we're just going to move up to the right just a bit. And I want you to go to these, these 2 black concrete. So going back up to these 2 black concrete, starting underneath it, underneath the left, we're just going to be placing 2 blocks going across to the right. So that's 1, 2 with the lime terracotta. So it looks like this. And underneath the left block of these 2, we're going to be adding just 1 more lime terracotta. So that's 1. So it looks like that. Okay, now that we've done that, what we're going to be doing next from here is we're going to move down to the right. I want you to go down here to the right. And I want you to go to these 6 black concretes that we had. You can see that they're making contact with these 3 black concretes. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the placement block. Starting on top of the right block of these 3, we're going to be adding 1 placement block. So that's 1. So it looks like this. Okay. And now we're going to switch over to the lime terracotta. Starting on top of the placement, so from here, we're going to be adding 2 blocks going to the left with lime terracotta. So that's 1, 2. Let's go ahead and get rid of the placement now. So now from here, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So 2 diagonal up to the left, that's 1 and 2. Next, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1 and 2. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2, 3. And now from here, we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the right. Switching sides, going up to the right, 1. And now we're going to be placing 1 block going up to the left. Going up to the left, that's 1. Now, once we've done that, we're going to switch over to the green concrete. Or not the green concrete, the lime concrete. Now, with the lime concrete, we're going to be placing 1 lime concrete on the left side of this lime terracotta. So that's 1 lime concrete. And then we're also going to be placing another lime concrete on top of this terracotta. So that's 1. And once you've done that, let me just go ahead and switch to this real quick. Now, once you've done that, starting on the right side of this very same terracotta, so starting from here, we're going to be adding 2 blocks going to the right with lime concrete. That's 1, 2. Then you're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal down to the right. So 4 diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of those placements. Next, you're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going down on the right. So that's 1, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 2. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements. And now that we've done that, we're going to switch over just for a sec to the lime powder. Now with the lime powder, it's lime concrete powder, but just to shorten it, we're just going to call it lime powder. Okay, switching over to the lime powder, we're going to be filling in this space and this space with the lime powder. So fill this in with the powder. And once we've done that, starting on top of this lime concrete, so from here, we're going to be placing 5 lime powders going diagonal up to the left. 5 lime powders. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't worry, I'll fix that. And now we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to be just placing one lime powder on top of the left block of these two. So that's one. So it should look like this. Go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. And don't worry for anyone that has any, what is it, OCD? I'll go ahead and fix that right now. There you go. Okay. So now we're going to switch over to the sand block. And with the sand block, we're going to go ahead and fill in these empty spaces here. Between the black concrete and the lime powder, we're going to be filling in these empty spaces here with the sand block. So go ahead and fill this in with sand. Fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this. Now we're going to switch over to the lime, or is it lime terracotta, and we're going to be filling in this empty space that's right here, staying within the outline. Fill this empty space here with the lime terracotta. Let's fill this in. Okay. And once we've filled that in, we're going to go ahead and switch over to the green wool. Now with the green wool, if you take a sec to look, this is just one single empty space here that just kind of goes up and then loops over and around down here. This single empty space right here, staying within the outline, we're going to go ahead and fill this in with the green wool. So go ahead and fill this in with the green wool. And this should complete Grogu's hand. All we have to do now is fill in some, or all of his nails here. All his two nails, or claws, or nails, probably nails. But they definitely look like claws. Okay. Fly back so you can see that should look like this. So we can go ahead and put away the green blocks for now. We'll be using them in, well, whenever we get to the face or the other side of the hand. But for now, we're going to go ahead and focus on the brown. So let's go ahead and start getting out the browns. Basically, the black terracotta. You want the gray terracotta, the brown terracotta, the brown terracotta, the brown concrete, the terracotta, which I believe this is the first time ever I'm using this block in a pixel art. The white terracotta, and these are the blocks that we're going to be using right now. Black terracotta, gray terracotta, brown concrete, terracotta, and white terracotta. So let's go ahead and we're going to start off by using, actually, hold on, we need to make some extra room, I just realized. We're going to be needing to make room for the orange terracotta and also the yellow terracotta. So also put those in your inventory. So we're going to start all the way to the right, the far right, this empty space here. We're going to start off with the yellow terracotta, and at the very bottom right, on top of this black concrete, we're going to be just placing one yellow terracotta. So that's one. Now switch over to the orange terracotta. We're going to be placing one orange on the left side of this yellow, and also one on top of the yellow. So it looks like this. Once you've done that, you're going to switch over to the brown terracotta. And with the brown terracotta, we're going to move up here. Underneath this one black concrete, we're going to be adding one brown terracotta. So that's one. Next, you're going to switch over to the gray terracotta. Add one gray terracotta underneath the brown. So that's one gray terracotta. Then you're going to switch back over to the brown terracotta. Place one brown terracotta on the right side of the gray. And we're also going to be placing one brown underneath the gray. So it looks like this. Now we're going to switch over to the brown concrete, and we're going to be filling in this empty space here with the brown concrete. So it should look like that. Now we're going to move over here to the left and work on this area. And like we did before over there, we're going to start off with the yellow terracotta. We're going to move all the way down here at the very bottom on top of this black concrete. We're going to be placing one yellow terracotta. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing another yellow terracotta going up to the right. So that's one. Next, switch over to the orange terracotta. Place one orange on top of this yellow. And we're also going to be placing one orange on the left side of this yellow. So it should look like this. Next, we're going to switch over to the gray terracotta. And with the gray terracotta, we're going to move up here to this one black concrete. On the right side of it, we're going to be placing one gray terracotta. And underneath this black concrete, we're going to be also placing another gray terracotta. And now what we're going to be doing is switching over to the brown concrete. And with the brown concrete, we're going to move back over here to this orange. Starting on top of this orange right here, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal down to the left. So that's 1, 2, 3. And next, you're going to be switching over to the brown terracotta. And then you're going to be filling in this empty space here with the brown terracotta. Brown terracotta. I keep getting confused now with the brown concrete and the terracotta. Those are the 2 blocks that always confuse me by name, not by color. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move up here, and since we still have the brown terracotta in our hand, we're going to move to these 6 black concretes that we have this 1 black concrete on top, starting on the right side of it. So from here, we're going to be placing 3 brown terracottas to the right, going to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3. So it should look like this. Now, once you've done that, you're going to switch over to the terracotta. Or not, is this a terracotta? Yes, no, this, terracotta. This is going to be the first time I believe I'm using this block in a tutorial. So, switching over to the just terracotta, no white, no whatever other colors, just terracotta. Starting on the right side, we're going to be placing 6 terracottas going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements. Let's head back up here. And from here, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. That's 1, 2. And now place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1 and 2. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and place from here 3 sets of 2s going up on the right. 3 sets of 2s. So that's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and get rid of those placements. And once we've done that, what we're going to do is head back up here, and we're going to be placing 1 terracotta going up to the right. That's 1. And now, real quick, we're going to switch over to the brown concrete. And with the brown concrete, we're going to be filling in this empty space here. Fill this in with brown concrete. We're going to move down here. We're going to be filling in this empty space here with the brown concrete. And we're also going to be filling in this empty space along with this empty space here, these 2 empty spaces here, with the brown concrete. So let's go ahead and do that now. Fill this in with brown concrete. Okay. Now that we have that filled in with the brown concrete, we're going to be switching blocks. We're going to be switching over to the white terracotta now. Switching over to the white terracotta, we're going to move up here to where we left off with just the terracotta, regular terracotta. Starting underneath this 1 terracotta block with the white terracotta, all we're going to be doing here is just tracing the outline of the terracotta, going all the way down and filling in these empty spaces down here as well. So starting underneath this block, just trace the outline with the white terracotta, going all the way down to the left. Going all the way down to the left. Just fill in these empty spaces. I'll fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this. Very simple, very easy. Okay, now what we're going to do next is switch over to... Actually, we're not going to switch over. We'll still... need the white terracotta. With the white terracotta, we're going to move up here to the right. I want you to go to these 2 black concretes. You can see them. I'll fly back so you can see where we are. So go to these 2 here. Starting from the bottom block on the right side, we're going to be adding 1 white terracotta. So that's 1. And once you've done that, you're going to switch over to the sand block. I forgot that we're going to use sand here. We can go ahead and put away the yellow and orange. We're not going to be needing them for this tutorial series for a little while now. So switching over to the sand block, starting underneath this white terracotta now. So from here, we're going to be basically doing the same thing we did with the white terracotta, except we're not really tracing any outline up here. Instead, we're going to be tracing the outline of the black concrete going all the way down and even filling in these two empty spaces. So starting from here underneath it, you can see the sand's going to fall. Just trace the outline of the black concrete. So going down to the left, even filling in these empty spaces here. So I'll fly back so you can see that it should look exactly like this. Go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. Now let's head back up here to the right. We're going to be filling in this empty space here with the sand block as well. So fill this in with sand. Then you're going to switch back over to the white terracotta, and we're going to be filling in this empty space here with the white terracotta. So fill this in. I'll fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this so far. Go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. Now we're going to fly down here to the left. We're going to go ahead and start a little bit of work on this area, and then we'll come back to it in the other part. So let's go ahead and we can put away the sand block now. We're not going to be needing the sand. And we're also not going to be needing the terracotta, the white terracotta, that is. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on the browns now. So let's go ahead and focus on the browns. Let me just get a little organized here. Okay, so switching over to the black concrete first, because there is one little tiny outline that I forgot. And to do it, we're just going to switch over to the placement block, starting at the very bottom of the 25 black concretes that we had here going straight down. On the right side of it, we're just going to be placing one placement block, so that's one. Then you're going to switch over to the black concrete, and with the black concrete, we're just going to be placing one black concrete on top and on the right side of the placement. So it looks like this. Okay? Get rid of that placement block. Again, make sure it just looks exactly like this. Very simple, very easy. Now we're going to switch over to the gray terracotta. I'm going to fill in this empty space here with the gray terracotta. And starting on the right side of this black concrete, so from right here, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2. And now we're going to be placing 3 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2, 3. Once you've done that, what you're going to do next is switch over to the brown terracotta. We're going to move down here to the right, similar to what we just did here. Starting on the right side of this gray terracotta, we're going to be placing, right here, 2 brown terracottas going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1, 2. And now from here, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to quickly switch back over to the gray terracotta. And starting on top of this block here, we're going to be placing 1 gray terracotta. That's 1. And now switch over to the brown terracotta again, and starting on top of these 3 gray terracottas, we're going to be placing 5 brown terracottas going up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and switch over to the gray terracotta, and we're going to be adding 3 gray terracottas going up. That's 1, 2, 3. Once you've done that, switch over to the black terracotta, and we're going to be adding 6 black terracottas going up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, we're going to switch over to the placement block, moving down here to the bottom block of these 6 that we just placed going up. On the right side of it, so from here, we're going to be adding 2 placements going up. That's 1, 2. Switch over to the black terracotta, add 1 black terracotta on top of the placements, so that's 1. Let's get rid of the placements now. And now switch over to the gray terracotta. Starting on top of this black terracotta, we're going to be adding 2 gray terracottas going to the right. That's 1, 2. Next, you're going to switch over to the brown terracotta. Add 1 brown terracotta on top of the right block of these 2 grays. So on top of the right, that's 1 brown terracotta. And then place 1 brown terracotta going up to the right. So that's 1. So it should look like this so far. Now, once you've done that, we're going to switch back over to the brown terracotta. So let's switch over Oops. Switch back over to the, not brown terracotta, but let's switch over to the gray terracotta. Starting on the right side of this brown terracotta, with the gray terracotta in your hand, right here, starting from here, we're going to be placing 6 gray terracottas going diagonal down to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's 6 gray terracottas, so it should look like this. Now, once you've done that, what you're going to be doing next is placing 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. That's 1, 2. And now, starting underneath the right block of these 2, we're going to be placing 1 gray terracotta. So that's 1. And it should look exactly like this so far. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, I want you to go back up here. Go back to where we started from these 6 blocks that we placed going diagonal. Look at these 2 first empty spaces in between the black concrete and the gray terracotta. This empty space and this empty space, just these 2, 1, 2, get filled in with the gray terracotta. So fill this and this with the gray terracotta. And once you've done that, you're going to switch back over to the black terracotta. And with the black terracotta, we're going to be filling in the remaining 4 empty spaces here with the black terracotta. So let's fill those in. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and switch back over to the brown terracotta. So starting underneath this gray terracotta here, so from there, we're going to be adding, just from here, 2 brown terracottas going down. That's 1 and 2. And once you've done that, let me just switch some blocks around here. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and switch over to the brown concrete. Starting up here, going back to this 1 gray terracotta. On the right side of it, we're going to be adding 1 brown concrete. So that's 1 brown concrete. Now let's head back down here. Underneath these 2 brown terracottas, we're going to be adding 1 brown concrete. That's 1. Next, you're going to be switching over to the terracotta. Just terracotta. Starting underneath the brown terracotta, we're going to be adding 3 brown, or not 3. We're just going to be adding 3 terracottas going to the right. That's 1, 2, 3. Again, this is just terracotta. There's no color associated with it, just terracotta. Alright, so once you've done that, you're going to be filling in this empty space that's right here. Fill this empty space here with just terracotta. Fill this in. Okay. And once we've done that, what we're going to be doing next from here is we're going to switch over to the gray terracotta. Now with the gray terracotta, starting underneath the middle block of these 3, we had these 3 terracottas, 1, 2, 3. Starting underneath the middle, so from here, we're going to be adding 4 gray terracottas going to the left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing a linked 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. A linked 2, so that's 1, 2. Should look like this, a linked 2. And starting on top of the left block of these 2, so starting from here, we're just going to be adding 1 block, 1 gray terracotta, so that's 1. Next, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going up on the left, so that's 1, 2, 3. And before we continue here, let's just quickly move back down here, and I want you to switch over to the brown terracotta. Now, starting underneath the right block of these 3, or I should say, of these 4 gray terracottas, starting underneath the right, we're going to be placing 3 brown terracottas going to the left, so that's 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to be placing 1 brown terracotta underneath the middle block of these 3, underneath the middle, so that's 1. So we have this little T shape here. And while we're down here, let's go to the very bottom right of this empty space here. Next to this black concrete, we're going to switch over to the terracotta, just terracotta block, regular terracotta. From here, we're just going to be placing 2 blocks going up. That's 1 and 2. And then you're going to be placing a linked 2 blocks going up on the left. So that's 1 and 2. So it should look like this, linked 2. Next, we're going to switch over to the brown concrete, and we're going to be placing 1 brown concrete underneath these 2 terracottas, so that's 1 brown concrete. Then you're going to switch over to the brown terracotta, and on the left side of this concrete, we're going to be adding 2 brown terracottas going to the left. That's 1, 2. Now let's head back up here to the top block of these two terracottas. So starting from here, we're going to be placing one brown terracotta going up to the left. So that's 1. And it should look like this. Once we've done that, we're going to head back up here. Let's go back to the gray terracottas here. We're going to switch over to the gray terracotta. Starting from the top block of these 3 on the left side, we're going to be placing one gray terracotta. So that's 1. Now switch over to the brown terracotta. We're going to be placing one brown terracotta underneath this one gray. So that's 1 brown terracotta. And now we're going to move up here and we're going to be placing one brown terracotta on top of this gray. So that's 1 brown terracotta. Next, switch back over to the gray. We're going to be placing, from this block, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the left with the gray terracotta. That's 1, 2. That's 2 blocks. And now we're going to switch back over to the brown terracotta, and we're going to be placing 1 brown terracotta going down to the left. So that's 1. Next, you're going to switch back over to the gray terracotta, and we're going to be adding 1 gray terracotta on the left of this brown, so that's 1 gray terracotta. Next, you're going to switch back over to the brown terracotta. Starting underneath this gray, we're going to be placing 2 brown terracottas going down, so that's 1, 2. Once you've done that, switch back over to the gray terracotta, add 1 gray terracotta underneath, that's 1. And from here, we're going to be placing 2 gray terracottas going down on the left. So that's 1 and 2. Next, we're going to switch over to the black terracotta. And with the black terracotta, we're going to move back to this 1 gray terracotta. Starting underneath this 1 block, we're going to be placing 3 black terracottas going down. That's 1, 2, 3. Next, switch over to the brown terracotta. Starting from the bottom block of these 3, on the right side, we're going to be placing 1 brown terracotta. That's 1. And then you're going to be placing 1 block going down to the right, again with the brown terracotta. So that's 1. So everything should look exactly like this so far. Go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. Okay. Now let's switch over to the black terracotta. On top of this 1 brown terracotta, we're going to be placing 1 black terracotta. So that's 1. So it should look like this. Now, once you've done that, we're going to switch back over to the brown terracotta, and we're going to move up here. Let's go back to this 1 gray terracotta from where we started with the 3 black terracottas. Going back to this 1 brown on the right side of it, or I should say going back to this gray. On the right side of this, with the brown, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal down to the right with the brown terracotta. So that's 1 and 2. So it should look like this. Okay. 1, 2. And now from here, we're going to switch back over to the gray terracotta. So starting from this block, we're going to be placing 6 gray terracottas going not diagonal, but going down, just going down, straight down. Going down on the right, 6 gray terracotta. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 grays going down on the right. Okay. Once we've done that, what we're going to do next is we're going to switch over to the placement block, starting from the bottom block of these 6 gray terracottas on the right side. So from here, we're going to be adding 2 placements going up. That's 1, 2. Next, you're going to switch over to the gray, and we're going to be placing 1 gray terracotta on top of this placement. So that's 1. And we're also going to be placing 1 gray terracotta on the right side of this placement. So that's 1. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get rid of those placements. And we're going to switch over to the placement block. We're going to move to this 1 gray terracotta. Starting underneath this 1 gray terracotta, we're going to be adding 1 placement block. So that's 1. Then you're going to switch over to the gray terracotta, and we're going to be adding 1 gray terracotta underneath this placement. So that's 1. Let's get rid of that placement block now. Now, once we've done that, let's switch over to the brown terracotta. We're going to move up here to this 1 gray terracotta. So starting from here, we're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal down to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3 with the brown terracotta. Once you've done that, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. So that's 1, 2. Again, I'll fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this. So once you've done that, you're going to switch over to the gray terracotta. And with the gray terracotta, we're going to move over here to the left a bit. And you can see that we have this empty space here in the shape of an L. This empty space right here, we're going to be filling that in with the gray terracotta. Fill this in with gray terracotta. There we go. And once you've done that, if we fly back just a bit, you can see that we have 3 large empty spaces remaining. We have this space up here, this space here that looks kind of like a upside down V shape, and then we have this space here. So we're going to start up here. We're going to start up here, the very top. This empty space up here, we're going to go ahead and fill this in with the gray terracotta. So let's do that now. I'll do this in real time with you. Fill this in with the gray terracotta. Okay. So once you filled that in with the gray terracotta, we're going to move down here, and we're going to switch over to the brown terracotta. And this kind of not backwards, but kind of like a weird upside down V shape or U shape. This empty space here, we're going to be filling in with the brown terracotta, making sure you stay within the outline. You don't want to mess your filling in parts. Okay, let's fill this in. There we go. Okay. So now that we have this filled in, the last part down here, we're going to switch over to the brown concrete. And with the brown concrete, we're going to be filling the remaining empty space that's here with the brown concrete. So let's go and fill this in with the brown concrete. There we go. And again, just a friendly reminder, if you feel like the tutorial instructions are going just a little bit too fast for you, make sure to pause the video. Like I mentioned in the first part, you definitely want to pause the video a couple seconds here and there, because it could mean saving you minutes or even hours of looking back and seeing where you might have gone wrong. Okay, so let's fly back a bit, and you can see that it should look exactly like this when you're done filling it in. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and continue the Grogu Minecraft pixel art tutorial series in the next part. If you become a channel member today, you will instantly gain access to the other pixel art tutorial parts that the current channel members have access to. You'll also gain early access to the other pixel art tutorial series that I'm working on. Don't forget, the best way to get into contact with me is through my Discord. I'll be leaving a link down below in the description. And if you're a channel member, you'll also gain the channel member role within my Discord once you link your YouTube account with your Discord account. Make sure to check out my other social media, Instagram, TikTok, all that info is down below in the description. And if you're on the Windows 10 edition or Xbox, my gamertag is Felix Guaman YT. Send me a message or a screenshot of the progress you're making with this pixel art tutorial series or any other pixel art tutorial series that you're working on. So with all that being said, make sure to stay tuned in for the next part of the Minecraft pixel art tutorial series for Grogu, and make sure to stay tuned in for more Minecraft videos.